that in analytic card.
Okay, okay. Yeah. In analytical only mostly we will have this requirement. Okay, that's good. So what you did in CDS level, how you added the code?
Let me see. Oh, but I use the converted. So I added the data point
Okay,
annotation.
so right. So
I
instead
think
of
the
directly
same way that we did in AVP itself.
AVP, okay.
Similar to AVP
Right. Yeah,
that we did.
right.
Yes,
Only that single line of code you added it independently. I mean, after that KPI tag, so that
yeah.
KPI annotation. Okay. So what is that
Yeah,
line at
see,
the last? I guess data point dot annotation. That one, right? Line
yeah, this I
number
added. But I think
141.
this was a part. No, I added this thing as data point. This was already in one of the example. I added this
Hmm.
type as data point and then use that what you
Okay,
call.
within that line item only. Now,
Yes,
where is that then KPI?
that's the thing. Let me also remember once. Let me see. See, this is all fine. Yeah, that was the only thing that I did. Added this here. This became a data point, and then I think in manifest.json it was done. The way you showed that,
Hmm.
like you showed that total underscore count is there, right?
Yeah, right.
So I added converted gross amount instead of that.
Okay, within that card.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Data point annotation.
hmm. Okay,
So I
so
think it's a
this was
data
already
point that
there,
is.
just like at the
I think the
last you
data point is
added
getting it.
converted gross amount.
Yeah.
So that only data point annotation
Yes.
part.
Yes. I think data point annotation did it.
Yes.
I think one question, tell me, like if you see here in all the reports, we are when we add the O data, we have this
Mm-hmm.
annotation folder getting created.
Right.
But for some reason, it is not created in OVP.
Right. Yeah, for OVP, because OVP mostly it depends on CDS only in OVP. But if you want to create, so yeah, there is a feasibility like you can create an annotation file if you want. So that's possible. So how you
But
can
how will
create,
it?
just right click on the project, go to
Mhm.
new, and there will be one annotation file at the last.
But how will it work?
And
So let's say if I add
so here,
this.
yeah. So once you create an annotation file, so here you have an option to choose like on based on which data source, like OData service, you want to create that annotation file. So let's say you want this annotation file related to the analytical card. Like for analytical card, you created a separate CDS service. So only
And
for
this,
that reason, if you want to create an annotation file, then you can choose that. And whatever CDS you add or whatever the annotation you add, that will be only applicable to that card, specific card.
okay, because normally in all the reports and all, it got added automatically. When
Yeah,
we
it
added the
will be
data, we
added
sent.
normally. Yeah, that only means like when I checked for this, but there was no annotation file. But
Yeah.
for
So
ALP and all, we have that, right?
yes. For this it does. So what do I need to do? I need to. Is it a require necessary to create it or
It depends. Like if you're adding number of annotation locally, in that
Mhm.
case only you need that annotation.xml file. Otherwise,
But can I not add it
why?
directly here? Oh,
No. Directly you should not add. You go with that practice only. Just right click new annotation file, because when you go with that option, by default it will add some tags, predefined tags,
mhm.
XML tags which are required for the annotation, and after that, within that you can use the annotation modeler and all.
Okay.
So now
Okay.
see here we created annotation.xml file. Below you can see the annotation modeler.
Yeah.
So
Now
you
it
can
has
use this.
right. But because in earlier cases it was coming all automatically. We didn't need to,
Mhm.
add this.
Right. Yeah. But the reason is why they have not added annotation file, because in ALP
Mm.
Mostly the ALP and list report, it needs a single CDS file. Mostly it works on single CDS file only. But for
Okay.
overview page application, for that, as we said, like for every card we have a different CDS service, right? So
Mhm,
there are
mhm.
multiple CDS service which are required for this overview application. And that's the reason by default there is no folder we can say for annotation.
Okay. Okay. So normally I can say that it is not needed also, or it is
It is not needed also, means it depends on your requirement. If you're
okay.
locally creating all the cards, then in that case you need annotation.xml file and you can add that.
Okay. And even in this is a code editor, I can add more annotations here, and that will automatically appear in local.
Yes, yes, you can add that.
Okay. 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 No, and
Okay.
it has to be normally in this folder only, web app folder in which all the others get created, or is it like
Yeah, yeah. See,
does the
like if you
folder
want
matter?
to. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like for you can
Okay.
manually create annotation folder and within that you can dump that. But that path is important. Like what whichever file you're creating, that
Mhm.
path, if you check, like for example, now we just created that annotation.xml file in
Mhm.
OVP, right? So if you go to manifest, there you can see the path. Like, can you go to manifest once and just scroll down? For sure, there will be one file for here. Yeah, just scroll down here. Are you able to scroll?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, scroll down a little bit. Now see on line number 100.
Line number 100. Okay. Okay.
Can you see that path?
Okay.
See in
Okay.
URL, it appended like double dot slash annotation.xml file.
Okay.
Because
So that means
manifest file, it is inside the web app. And now the
okay.
file that we have added, annotation, it's outside the web app.
Okay.
So just to come outside from the web app folder, so they have added two dots.
Oh, okay. Otherwise, it's the same thing. Either we add it in the web app folder or
Yes.
okay.
Yeah,
And
so
also
only the
it.
path
Mhm,
matters. Like if you're creating a explicitly, if you're creating an annotation folder, and
mhm.
after that within that annotation folder, if you're adding an annotation file, so only that path will change. Like in
Okay.
the line number 102, so there is a URI option, right? So here
Right.
how you
Right.
will define, like you will add annotation slash annotation.xml file, means the
Okay.
folder name slash followed by the file name.
And I can add as many annotation files as I want.
Yes, yes, you can add that.
Okay.
So you
Like
can
here.
also give any name. That's that also your choice. Like this annotation file is for analytical card. One more annotation file is for list card. So
See, like if I take the sales header, right? So
mhm,
one annotation XML got added automatically. If I see the manifest.json now,
mhm.
then you're saying
You
that
can
okay.
see on line number 34, local annotation.
Yeah. Okay.
On line number 35, can you see that URI?
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
folder
Yes.
name, annotation slash annotations.xml.
Okay. And this is my CDS
This is your
annotation,
actual, which is coming from the service.
CDS, and this is the local annotation.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And now similarly, if I see this here, if I see this manifest.json, then I'll see multiple annotations files because I'm using multiple services.
Right, right. So that's why
Okay.
you're able to see all that services, CDS services.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just share my screen now, and then we will complete this table card and list card today. And then tomorrow, what we will do, like no, sorry, tomorrow we don't have any session because as I said, I mean like tomorrow we have a demo planned at same time. So day after that, we will deploy all these apps. Okay. So we'll configure these apps, and then after that, the last day, we will do the navigation part. Okay.
Sure.
So let's see if the app deployment is it if it is going to happen, like it will take like 1 hour because three apps we will deploy, right? At least two apps we will deploy so that we can get a hands-on on deployment part. And then if time permits, then we can see the navigation or we can see that day after that.
Sure.
So most probably like on Friday, we will try to close this training. Okay. Second, I'll share my screen now.
And also, I think in
Mm-hmm.
case of navigation, normally
Yeah.
in Fiori elements, can we add? I saw the UI5 documentation. We can add the buttons, but I was surprised on one thing. How do we make those buttons trigger something?
Okay.
Because you can add that button, by action and all. You can add that button, but can we make something trigger on those buttons?
Yeah, but like in that case, then we have to do some normal custom implementation then.
Oh, otherwise we cannot trigger anything on that.
Yeah, but let me check that also. Like so this part. So once our deployment is done, right? For navigation, we'll say like but I think it's possible through CDS also, like one piece of code we need to add, and based on that, it will directly take you to the new app.
Oh,
So that
that's
we will see like once
sure,
this deployments are done, then we'll see that.
sure.
Okay. Okay. So last time, like yesterday, what we done, like I guess on Friday only we created this header part, right? The filter part. Yeah, I guess on Friday only we created this filter part. So yesterday, like what we did, like we just created a analytical list card in this overview page application, and we were able to create a chart. So we have reused the same code what we have used in the analytical list page or the page application. So the same chart code we have added it inside the analytical list card. So this is actually an analytical list card, and based on that, we just created a chart of donut type. Okay, so we were facing some issue while adding this KPI part. So like we were not able to add this KPI. So what I did, like so basically, I just added a local annotation. Like I created a local annotation file. So this is the local annotation file which I created, and explicitly I've just added this piece of code, this data point. Okay, so data point which has a qualifier total count, which has a value and title property. So only this few, the rest, like if you want, like you can add that. So main properties are value and title, so which are used, and an important thing is qualifier for that. So this data point annotation I have added, and this whatever the qualifier we specify, same qualifier we have to add it in the data point annotation path, in which at the last we have to specify hash, and then we have to specify qualifier name. So as soon as we specify, automatically this KPI, which was not coming yesterday, so it will come automatically. Okay, only that is the change that I have added personally from the local annotation level. So I didn't made any changes in the actual CDS part. Okay, one second. I will open this Eclipse. Okay, so for creating a analytical card, so first of all, for that card, we need a chart. So this code, it is similar to the existing codes till now. The chart code that we have seen, the same code is there. No change in that. Only we have updated dimension and measure, which is pointing out to the different fields here in this case. And after that, accordingly, we have just introduced this new annotation for the KPI. So using this annotation, so earlier, like to display any chart, we used to have a presentation variant. So instead of adding a presentation variant, we were using a default presentation variant qualifier property for that KPI, in which we have just added the qualifier name, which is pointing out to the chart. Okay, so the qualifier that we have added for the chart, same qualifier we have added to the default presentation variant qualifier. And after that, we just placed the data point. So I guess this data point not needed now, because we have directly added this data point from the CDS level. Okay. So once we add this chart related annotation and at the rate UI.kpi related annotation, then the final thing is like we just have to add that piece of code. the local annotation code that we need to add for the data point. So again, it's the same, like specify the qualifier for that data point annotation and just add a two important properties like value and title. So once we specify, automatically this KPI will come for that respective card. Okay. So now today what we will do, so we will design two more cards. One is the table card and second one is the list card. Okay. So two cards we will create, table card and list card today. So to create a table card, so as we see like in overview page or in overview application, basically all the cards will need a independent CDS service. Like for every card, we will have a different CDS service. It's not similar to the analytical list page or list report app. In list report or analytical list page, maximum we used to have a one single CDS service. But in overview application, you can bring the data from different data source because that feasibility is there. Okay. So to design a table card here in this overview page, so first we need a CDS service. So I will create a new data definition for the table card now. So I'll go back here and I'll create a new one again. So I'll choose it as a temp, and after that I'll just add the name C underscore OVPT. So this is for table, and I can add as CDS for table card OVP. Then I'll say next. I'll select the define view and click on finish. Okay, so here I will quickly add all the code. So this data source, we will keep it same. We'll copy this code from here. Then I guess earlier we used to have this T001W, and after that we just added T1 on. So instead of that, I will add one more table. So I'll remove that and then I'll use TSPT as T1 on VP.WERKS. So that WERKS, instead of that, we can use T1 dot. So Spras is nothing but like it will hold the language related information, and that we will compare with default station like. Okay, so I will add and T1 dot SPART VH dot SPART. That's it. So I'm getting all the data from this TSPAT, which is like a description table for the division or distribution channel. And now I'll just prepare a structure for that. Then we will add group by PRT T1 dot vtext. So let's activate this and let's check the actual output. Okay, 1 second. Let me check the 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Yeah. Okay, so this is the data that we have, which is coming based on the joints that we have added. So now, like after creating the basic data definition, so we'll create a metadata extension for this file. Okay, so quickly we will create a metadata extension. So I'll add metadata extension. Then we'll do odata dot publish. Again, we'll add at the rate entity set name. So we'll add like table card set. Okay, the small. Okay, so let's activate this. And now I'll create a new file for metadata extension. Next, finish. Here, just select. Okay, so now from here, what we need, like we hardly need, we don't need a division. So I'll just comment this division code and we can display this as a line item. Add the last line item annotation for this. Okay, so I'll just activate this now. And now we have to register that as a OData service. So we'll register that quickly. So I will add that service now. Okay, so this is added now. Now let's go back to web ID and let's see how we can add a table card here. So to add a table card, so just right click on this app, go to new, and then there is an option of card. Okay, and now this time we will select a table card because earlier we have selected analytical card, and now this time we will select a table card. Select table card. You can add select to add a header or something. If you need, you can add that, or you can just ignore that or click next. Then now this time we will select a new data source. So I'll add a table card set. Click next. We'll choose the, okay, let it load. Okay, now, okay, so this is the CDS card for the table card. Select that, click next. Now we will select the CDS one. Okay, after that, we know we added table card set. You can provide the title as division based sales. You can add as a, and then we can just scroll down. So here, like we can add a sort, we can add a sort based on division, and okay, value selection, you can add it. You can give any name. That's not a problem here. Just click next. Now we can specify row span as 5, 4 we can give, and column span 2 we can give, and just click next and finish. So once we add that, then if you scroll down in the card section, now this time we will have a two cards. So first card it's for analytical card, and second is for the table. Okay, so the two cards are added now at this point. So now let's reload this app. Okay, so this is the card that we have added recently for the table, which you can also drag and drop, which you can also resize wherever you want. Okay, so everything is possible because by default all the cards are resizable. So based on your choice, you can resize and you can also like drag and drop wherever required. Okay, so we just designed, just now we have created this table card now. Okay, so now last, what is pending now? Only list card is pending. So like CDS service will remain the same for list card also. Only the way the details are getting displayed, that will be little bit different as compared to the table card. Okay, because table will have the columns, but in list case, the list for sure, like list will not have any columns. Okay, directly the data will be displayed properly with its label. So let's see that. So we will design now list card. So again, for designing the list card, what we need, same like same service we need. Okay, so let me create one more now. Okay, so L I've added, and we can add a CDS for list card. I'll click next and view finish. Okay, so now again data source that we need, we can copy from the table. So we need this VBAK, VBAP, and the condition that is also required. Then there is a inner join. So this we will change. So instead of that, we will use TBT WT as T1 on T1 dot SPRAS equal to session system language. And here below, like at the last, we can add T1 dot VTWEG equal to VH dot. Okay. Now after that, we'll add a couple of fields here. Okay, so last we will add group by clause for this. Dot wait text. Let's activate this and let's check for the output. Okay, so this details will be displayed in the table card. Sorry, the list card. So now let's add. Oh, I guess we closed it. No, no, no. So I'll add last publish true. Activate this and now let's create a extension file for this. I'll add a metadata extension. I'll click next and finish. Okay, so again, like, so again we can add. So Aman, for adding a list card also we use same, right? UI line item annotation only we add.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess second. So this is done. I'll just activate it. This also, where is our file? Yeah. So I'll activate this, and now we need to add it as a service also. Okay, let's add the service. Okay, so service is activated now. Now let's go back to the web ID and how to add the list card. Again, same process, right click on the project, new card option. And now we have to go with list card, and then we will, okay, if you want, you can add this for the header. Like if you need a header, you can go with that. So I'll just add this as a header and just click next. Yeah, select new data source here, list card set, and then you can click next. You can choose S4H from here, can paste, select the service for the list card, click next. Then we will choose the CDS service. And again, like we have to select list card set, title as base sales, add it as information. Okay, list type. Yeah, it your choice. Like by default, if you're not choosing that, also fine. Just click next now. Again, same row span like 4 columns. Sorry, 4 rows and column. I will give it as a 2 and finish. So if you scroll down, so 3 cards will be there now. Okay, so this is our list card now. Now let's reload. Okay, so if we scroll down, we have this list. So the difference between the table and list is very simple. For table, we have columns, but for list, there are no columns. Okay, so this is our list card now. So we can also drag and drop so that we can see all the details at one place. Okay, guys. So we just have covered the three cards in this overview application, and you can also do the filtration part. So all these filters can be used just to filter out the data properly. Okay, so now, so next session, like what we will do. So in next session, we will deploy this apps properly. So we will deploy this app and we will configure this all the apps properly in a tile within a Fiori Launchpad. And once the deployment is done, once the tile configuration is done, last part is what, like navigation we will see. Like let's say, so we will try to add a navigation in this overview app only. And let's see, like from within that overview app, how we can take a user to the new application by clicking on any of the styles, any of these cards within the overview application. Okay, any questions here, Aman or Subrita? So CDS so far, like we have used normal CDS only for this creating a list card and table card. There is no advanced code we have written for this. The code that we have written for list report or analytical list page for creating the table, same CDS we need to add. Only the option is like whichever card you want to create. So you can manually create that by just right clicking on the project, new and card. Only that is the change. And then this, whichever card you choose, accordingly your data will represent in the output. Okay, so only like for analytical card we need a chart, but for other charts, like we don't need any this the chart code for that. Okay, guys, so so like tomorrow, like not tomorrow, day after, like on Friday. So on sorry, on Thursday, we will deploy all these three apps. So three or at least two also we will deploy. And then day after that, the last session, like we will try to see the navigation part.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah. So any questions like before we close this call for today?
No, I think nothing from my side. I think just send me that invite for the demo tomorrow.
Yeah. Sure, sure. I will share with you. Yeah. I'll just forward so that you can also join. Mm, 1 second. Let me stop the recording.